Hello. I am trying for the third day in a row to make a YouTube video. I haven't uploaded any of them yet, nor am I going to, but I might upload this one if it goes well. I'm trying really hard to make my voice louder because one of the biggest problems I keep having is my audio is like useless. So, gonna try harder with that today. I do know what I'm gonna draw. I've been going into it not knowing what I'm gonna draw, but this time I'm gonna draw a giraffe. So let's just get into it. I don't know if their hair goes between their horns. I don't think it does. So, I don't know really what to talk about. That I had no issue with in the previous videos I've done. But I guess I can't have knowing what I'm going to draw and knowing what I'm going to talk about. Is one or the other at this point. So, bear with me. Just enjoy the drawing. I'm gonna try to make it kind of tutorial-y because I like teaching. So we're gonna work on that. Right now we're just doing the drawing, so there's not really much to teach about that. They have like their little spots start on their cheek and up here. I've drawn quite a few giraffes in my time. Not enough to know them by heart. I've drawn maybe 3 giraffes professionally. I doodle giraffes sometimes, but I don't really count those because I'm not looking at a reference. But I've looked at a reference like 3 times. So, this will be a somewhat realistic giraffe. I hope you didn't just hear the noise my throat made. That's another thing, is I don't know what noises are going to be picked up by this mic or not, so disclaimer immediately in the beginning and I'll quit talking about it. Because that's all I talked about in the other times that I've made videos. Let's make a green giraffe. Oh, okay, so we're starting a new layer. This is our sketch layer. Layer 1. And this is our, it's hard because you can't see what my hand is doing on the tablet, but maybe I can show you, like I can pick the camera up and show you if there's something really important that I need you to see. But for now we will just go with my clicking. Let's do line work. So I'm gonna tap with 2 fingers. I'm not holding up 2 fingers. Tap with 2 fingers on the layer 1 here. So tap with 2 fingers and it brings up the opacity menu. And I'm gonna slide my finger like this way and it lightens the drawing. We want it pretty light because we're going in with black and we want to be able to see the difference between the 2 lines. Maybe let's rotate this. We'll draw it like this for now. Sorry, I'm gonna make noises a lot because I can hear myself talking, so I will make like little noises and I don't know, I just enjoy hearing the feedback in my ears. So sorry if you don't enjoy it, but I enjoy it. So. Speaking of I've been sewing lately. I haven't made anything yet, but I've like sewn things together. I was gonna make straps for some slippers. So I got those done, and I want to make a teddy bear. I found a pattern for a teddy bear on YouTube. So I'm probably going to try making a teddy bear. Maybe I can update you on that in my next video. I'm paused right now because I'm deciding a lot of things. I don't know if I want to do the line art yet, and I don't know if I want to just go into it with shape. I think I'm going to just go into it with shapes, because that's fun. So I've got my brush, and we're just going to draw all the parts that are yellow on the giraffe. We'll just do like the base outline. And I know their horns are brown, but we're going to outline them in yellow. We're just going to go around the whole thing. Actually, what I do is I draw just half of the head adornments. So it looks like that when you fill it in. And to fill it in, you start up in the corner. You drag your pencil out like from this dot and drag it all the way into the spot that you want to color. And if it's not working right, you can hold down where you want to fill, and then the slider pops up, and see how you like doesn't fill it all the way if you have it all the way to the left, and then it fills it hardcore if you go all the way to the right 100%. I stick in the 90s when I do fill tool because it makes sure it like differentiates between shapes still, but it makes sure you're absolutely filling everything in. Alright, let's do the rest of him. We're going to go with a darker yellow because we used yellow. And we want this just to appear darker. So there's that, because it's behind. We're going to go even darker because the ear is even further away. And now, like, that half of his face is in shadow now. And we're gonna like shade it later, so don't worry if it looks a little weird right now. We're gonna shade it and it'll look better. Let's go behind all of those layers. Each shape is a new layer, and we're like going behind as we go, because the closest thing to us is the yellow shape, and then the brown gets further away. And now we need like a rich brown for the mane. That should be good. We're going to draw that hair behind. Make it nice and wiggly. Fill her in. And I am going behind, like, I'm going behind and I'm like filling that like space. I'm not just, I don't know, like sometimes in art, when you watch digital art, it looks like they're able to so quickly fill in the spaces. But you do have to make a complete shape to be able to fill it in. You can't, like on separate layers, I can't make this and then fill this in, or it'll fill everything in. You have to make sure, here I'll turn the opacity. Watch this. So this is what I did. Sorry. A new layer. I did that, and I expected to be able to fill that in because there were things in the other spaces, but you have to go behind and connect those two lines to be able to fill it. So let's undo everything we just did. Okay. Now, I think we'll do the eyes. I like going with an off-white. I tend to go towards bluish gray when I do the eyes. If it's an eye with a white in it, which I don't know if giraffes have eye whites that are visible, but this one does. And then we're going to make a new layer above that, and it's important that you make the new layer above the eye, exactly above the eye. It can't be like a few spaces like this. It has to be right next to each other, because we're going to click this layer and go all the way down to where it says clipping mask, and we're going to click clipping mask. And then we're going to go with a good color for a giraffe eye. I feel like we'll do like a muted brown. And make a circle, and if you hold your pencil down, like, I'll show you. Watch this. Can you see my hand with my pencil? Alright. When you draw the circle, make sure it's a complete circle, and then when you hold down, I'm going to do it again. Make a circle, hold down, and it turns into a perfect circle. And then if you use another finger to place your finger, here, I'll do it with, I don't know if you can see in this area. Oop. Oh, I made a clipping mask. If you do this, and then hold down with another finger, it's gotta be kind of far away, I guess. I don't know why it's not working. Well, anyway, if you do what I'm doing, yeah, there. See how I can put my pinky down and it turns into a different circle? That's a perfect circle. And then once you release, this menu comes up at the top, and you click that, and then you can move the circle. Oops, sorry, I'm like trying to watch two screens at once right now. And then you can move the circle around to where you want it. And then I'm gonna fill that in. Okay. Oh, I just dropped my tablet. Okay. Sorry about all the screen going wonky. Alright, now we're going to give him the black of his eyes. We're going to turn that into a clipping mask too. And draw the circle. Put my finger down so it turns into a perfect circle. Click the menu at the top that pops up and adjust it so it's in the very center. Fill it in. And sometimes it does this. And the way to deal with that is, like, if I do it multiple times and hold, it turns into, like, it doesn't get that, like this, that right there, as long as you do, like, multiple circles. Oop, that didn't turn into a circle, I'm sorry. There. See how you get that little guy right there disappears when you do that. Alright, let's do nostrils. We're gonna make the nostrils dark brown. Oh, sorry, got a little sidetracked. Gotta deal with this little blemish. I'm not gonna make it perfect because nothing is perfect. Good enough. That's what we aim for. We aim for good enough sometimes. And we'll draw some nostril bits. I don't think I'm going to draw the other nostril because it's hidden. But I am going to draw the mouth. Oop. I always accidentally hit undo. And we're going to give him an eyelid. So we're going behind the eye entirely. I want his eyelid to be orange and quite round. I should have made... I'm gonna fix this. Excuse me. I burped. I don't know if you can hear it, but that's why I said excuse me. Gotta redo all that work. Okay. There, that's a little more crisp. Alright. Now, let's shade, I believe. No, let's do spots first. Actually, I don't know. Let me flip a coin in my head. Alright, we're gonna shade first. So what I'm doing for this is I'm taking two fingers and you, instead of selecting it to get opacity, you're gonna take your two fingers and slide it like this and then release, and it turns it into an alpha lock, which makes it so you can't draw on anything other than what's already drawn. And we're gonna shade that. So we need a deep brown, and I like to use the spray paint brush for that. This is a preset Procreate brush. It comes with the app, so you don't need to go out and get a brush like this. It comes with the app. It's called Medium Nozzle, I think. Yeah. And we're gonna color at towards the bottom only, because that's like that kind of hair is coming from the back of him and we can't see where it's coming from, so there's some shadow there. I'm not real scientific about it. I just do what looks good. And we're gonna take a deep color from behind the ear here. And then I do want to brighten that up, so I'm gonna select by holding with my finger instead of the Apple Pencil. Hold down and it makes this color dropper, and you just select the color. And I'm gonna brighten up his ear. And with this, we're gonna select that same color. Actually, the horn is brown, so I'm just gonna change the color of the horn real quick. And then I'm gonna shade it with a darker brown. Oh, we don't want it too close to the hair. That's better. And then with like a light brown at the top. And I'm gonna go in on the side too with this. And then I'm gonna just, hold on, we're gonna color this one next. So we'll make a clipping mask over that layer and select some of these colors. Go back to our other brush. And I don't know if I want to make such a harsh line right there, but we're gonna leave it for now. And we're gonna shade this one exactly like we shaded that one, except maybe without the dark shadow. And then we're gonna go back to that first one that's on a separate layer, and we're going to go into the hue, saturation, brightness. We're going to turn saturation up and brightness down. And, well, we're just going to play with it. I'm going to desaturate it, actually. Just so it's a little bit darker than the other one. It's also bigger, which is throwing me off. So maybe let's fix that. Okay. And now we're going back to the other one, and we're gonna get the eraser out, medium nozzle, and get rid of that harsh line. And actually, we're gonna go in with the... Let's just do this until it looks good. Doesn't have to be perfect, because it's part of the style. And I can't remember where the white on a giraffe is. I think it's around the cheek and the nose. So let's do that real quick. Make a new layer, clipping mask. Get like a nice yellowish white. And I think this part of a giraffe is white, but I'm not positive. Actually, I think they have brown noses, so let's fix that. And darken his nostril and his mouth. There we go. And giraffes have big, beautiful eyelashes, so let's add that real quick. Sometimes it automatically does a clipping mask if you make the layer in the wrong place, so we're just going to move that above the eye and turn clipping mask off. Make them some big... Oh, we're going to do another new layer. Sorry, I use a lot of layers when I draw. Because I knew I'd do that, and I wanted to be able... Ooh, wrong eraser. I wanted to be able to erase those little blips. And also, what I've been doing with eyelashes lately is making those nice, like, thinning lines like an eyelash. And then I go in with an eraser and press lightly and then press harder as you go down the eyelash. And it makes it into like a double, like a group of eyelashes, which is a little more realistic for eyelashes. Beautiful. Now we need some glossiness on the eye. And that's why we make the eye white a bit of a gray, because the highlight stands out more. So I also want to do a bottom lid. So let's go on the eyelid layer. And I'm going to make it a brown. Darker brown. Cool. Okay. Now I want to do the ear. And I don't know what a giraffe ear looks like off the top of my head. I assume there's some white fuzzy fur in there. So we're gonna, we're gonna fill that in. And then let's shade it real quick. Excuse me, I can't stop burping tonight. That looks good, right? It looks weird because it doesn't have spots yet. And I feel like it needs an outline because I outlined the eye. But I don't really want to outline it after I've done all this coloring, so we're gonna skip that. And we're just gonna make some spots now. And then we'll be done after, well, we'll shade the spots and then we'll be done. I want a shadow under the head. So I'm just gonna play with that for a second. That will be important later, so we're going to make it invisible for now. I don't know if that's... Oh, it did. It worked. Yay! I want little freckles on the cheek and more up here. And then they start to get like way bigger, but I don't want it to go outside of the line, so. I don't make sense sometimes when I talk while I'm drawing. I'm sorry about that. I hope you've been able to follow along enough. And this being like one of my first videos, I think it's okay. I'm gonna give myself some wiggle room to get better, right? Okay. We're gonna bring that neckline back, and I'm gonna change. We're gonna go click the little N that's on the edge of the layer that stands for normal, and we're gonna turn this into a light layer, which will be either soft light, hard light, or vivid light, whatever one looks the best here. I'm thinking soft light, and then we can just darken it. And then also, I think I want to, oops. We're going to hit the select tool up at the top, which is the little rope with lines through it. And I'm going to select about halfway through this whole line and turn color fill off. And I'm going to blur that. So we'll go into effects, Gaussian blur, and it'll just make that line a little less harsh on half of it. So it looks, here, let's smudge that out. Okay, so it's like really subtle, but it does make a difference. And we're gonna alpha lock the spots, go in with a dark brown spray paint, and we're just gonna color over top of them a little to darken them up, just around the edge basically. And I think our giraffe is done, so let's turn our sketch layer off. We don't have to delete it, but you can at this point. Make a new layer and pick your background color, and then I've been liking to let's duplicate this whole thing so we have our layers saved. But now I'm gonna merge this all and duplicate it, turn alpha lock off the layer you just made a copy of, and go into Gaussian blur and slide over just so you can like kind of see it smudging. You can kind of see it smudging around the edge there. And go into select tool, click automatic, and slowly drag your pen along the edge until you see that blue, this like, I can't really point at it right now, but see the dark blue line, until you see that, because that's going to be where your white edge will poke through. And go into new layer, and then we're going to hold down on the select tool to bring our selection back up, the saved selection that we just made. And we're going to click color fill and then make it white or whatever. You could like make it pink or something, whatever color you want to make it. We'll make it pink. And I have to erase a part that I missed. There. That is... Oh, sorry. I don't know if you can hear that, but my bracelet just caught. But that's a giraffe drawn by me. It's not super deep. I'm like seeing spots on it when I look at the screen here that I would add detail to. Like, I'm just going to go in with a dark brown real quick. Give him kind of... Oops, wrong brush. Give him kind of an eyebrow. And then nostril, like divot. That looks a little better. There, now we're done. Okay, this has been a giraffe by me. I'm Taylor, by the way. I didn't introduce myself in the beginning of the video, but I'm Taylor. Also, Bilby is where you can find me on Instagram. I don't really go on Twitter, but I have that Twitter. And also, I think Tumblr, maybe? Maybe Tumblr, I can't remember. I don't know. I'm just out there as Bilby. I think my Facebook page is Bilby, but you can find me there. Okay. Thanks for watching. See ya.